let's start with Keegan Murray.
Whew.
Let's just go there. Let's go there.
He continues to show these flashes, and it's happening more and more. You know, it felt like in Summer League, you're like, oh, he had that big Summer League game. You're starting to see a little more. And it seems like after a slow start, he's really come into a good rhythm. He's had a couple of dips before the last 2 games for sure. And consistency is going to be the biggest challenge for him, as it is with a lot of young players. But Morgan, this is where you got to take advantage of a team. And I feel like tonight, in the last couple of games, Keegan is getting more comfortable being assertive and aggressive, going out like, oh, I've got a mismatch here.
Yes.
My first instinct isn't to pass the ball. And I felt like last year, and even stretches, you know, he falls into these lapses where he's a little too passive. That wasn't the case tonight.
Yeah.
He was really fantastic. And it's not just hitting the 3. He was doing such a great job attacking the rim.
And I mean, attacking the rim and at every part of the floor. I mean, baseline jumpers, you're seeing him in the mid-range, you're seeing him go aggressively to the basket. It could be high off the glass, or it can be throwing it down.
Finish with both hands, too.
Finishing with both hands. It has just been so fun seeing his game evolve on that end of the floor. And I felt like this is what we did a lot with De'Aaron Fox last year, when we were like, oh my God, like every single game we could talk about him, his growth, what we were seeing. And the fact that this is year 2 for Keegan, and it's been so fun that even if we're not talking about a hot offensive night, you're talking about what he was still capable of doing on the defensive end or crashing the boards. And even tonight, he finished with 6 rebounds, 3 assists, right? So all across his stat line looking pretty good, but really his efficiency. I mean, we talk about a guy that is putting the ball on the floor more and being aggressive, but his shot selection is just absolutely brilliant. I feel like it is, he knows what he can do on the floor. He knows the personnel. He knows who he can elevate over, whether it's just with his shot or even if it's at the rim. And I just think his quick decision-making and how he's playing the game on that end of the floor is just brilliant.
He had a play where he got the ball into the corner. He got the ball in the corner. Defender goes out to close out on him. He puts it on the floor. There's 2 guys at the rim to like try to contest it. And he still went to finish. And I'm like, you know, last year he's going a little soft. Maybe he's not even driving, or he's being indecisive.
Passing it away.
Right. Not making a quick decision. He's attacking, then getting blocked. This isn't the case this year. I think his body control is so much better. His ability, like I said, to finish with both hands. And then I like tonight, something that I think I want to see more of going forward is the 2-man game with him and Sabonis.
Yeah.
That can be lethal. A Sabonis, Keegan Murray, 2-man game, pick and roll. And tonight, Sabonis set him a screen, and Nick Richards switched on to Keegan, and Keegan took advantage like you're supposed to do. And some of this stuff is like, are you giving him credit for doing that? It's like, no, I'm looking for growth. When I evaluate some of these young guys in the league, I'm going, are they making these slight jumps? Are we seeing improvement game to game? He's clearly a better player than he was last year, but now he's a better player than he was last month. He's doing it more consistently. The shooting is there, and it's been there over the last 20 games. He is shooting red hot from beyond the arc. Tonight, he scored 25 points. He had 6 rebounds, 3 assists. He did on 11 of 18 shooting, 3 of 7 from downtown. The next step of his development to me, 1, consistency. 2, keep attacking and get to the free throw line. I want to see him get to the line because I think he's a guy that can knock down free throws. He did not shoot a free throw in this game tonight, but I love what he did. You know, that like I said, that Keegan Sabonis 2-man game. I mentioned the switch, but then he had another play where they played a little pick and roll, and he threw a beautiful pass to Sabonis. A nice little bounce pass, Sabonis finish, bucket.
And I think Sabonis had a nice little bounce pass in between defenders, pocket passers. I mean, where Keegan was cutting baseline, I think it was, and it was just...
They fell asleep, and Keegan read the defense and went, oh, they're not even paying attention to me. I'm cutting.
Even that, just giving credit and love to him, his timing and understanding when to move without the basketball. And you cannot just leap over the little things, especially when a guy is in his second year. And I think sometimes that's why with Keegan, from what he did last year as a rookie, as a shooter. There's so many people around the league are like, yeah, no, we get it. He's a good shooter. That's great that you need to have that. And it's like, no, he is so much more on the offensive end. And I just didn't expect his game offensively to take this type of leap. Like, I knew he was going to feel confidence with being empowered by Mike Brown and his teammates, or even Mike Brown being like, if you don't shoot that effing ball in the corner, you're going to sit. Like, you're not going to play. You're going to sit if you don't shoot the ball. And putting that little pressure on him and giving him a little bit more of that, hey, I want you to shoot and miss, even if that's going to be the case. Like, be aggressive, because sometimes our best option on offense is going to be when you're being one of the bigger threats out there. And that's just, you're seeing him really understand that. But then he's not just taking any shot. He's being so selective with his shots.
Dude, some of the mid-range shots, I mean, that step back he has now, the little fall away mid-range jumper.
I said to Mike, baby, I go, mid-range shots, you know, like, really are near and dear to your heart. And he's just like, he goes, yeah.
He looked like KD tonight with his little step back mid-range shot.
He did. And Mike talked about, like, yeah, you know, the game going away from that. And I'm like, nah, Mike, it's not only is it like still there, I was like, it's coming back like fashion that goes out of style, but it's just still cool and it's always going to be timeless. Like, that is the mid-range shot for so many people that can actually execute it in this league.
Yeah, and I think it's just like anything. You know, the league went so far away from it for a while, where it's, hey, threes, layups, that's all you want. But the ability to score at all three levels is key. Like, what do you mean? Like, no. Like, if they take away the three, if you're not comfortable taking the mid-range shot, well, what are you going to be? So you have to be comfortable at all three levels. So.
And the ability of not only being comfortable at all three levels, but then also being able to execute all three levels with a different type of shot. For example, being able to do a step back, fade away from mid-range, being able to do a step back from beyond the arc, being able to do a floater and having that finesse coming off your fingertips. I'm telling you, it is just, I mean, you all probably know this. It is not an easy thing to just be able to get that feel, to get that touchdown. And he is finding that, even trying to take contact with the NBA pace and everything.
Yeah, and that's the next step, is to keep playing physical. You know, I liked even tonight, man. I mean, last night he's diving on the floor for a loose ball. Tonight, you know, he got irritated with himself because he missed a shot, got a rebound, lost it, and then he forced a jump ball because he's going after the ball. I'm like, I need that physicality from you. You're not a small person. You know, you've got great size. You've added strength this offseason. Be aggressive, but most importantly, stay confident. His last 15 games, Morgan, he is averaging 19 points a game, 52% shooting, 45% from three-point land, and 5.3 rebounds, along with 1 steal. That's over the last 15 games for the Kings.
It's the real effing deal. Believe it. Believe it.
I'm glad you're saying that, because that's where I was going to go with this.
Oh, thank God.
You know, we get excited sometimes, man. We get excited.
Hey,
sports fans, we get excited.
We've grown. We've matured, though.
For sure.
A little bit.
A little bit, not much.
Yeah.
But I feel so confident in his ability to be such a stud NBA player. And I feel like the more I see him, the ceiling keeps going up for him and the Kings at that point. Because he is taking steps on both ends, like you mentioned, that I don't think I thought was going to be possible in year 2. Like,
thank you.
We talked a lot about the offense, but let's not brush aside what we've seen defensively from Keegan Murray.
Thank you.
And that's been consistent since game 1 this year, where we're like, oh, is this defense good? And the more you watch him, like, yeah, he's pretty good. No, he is their best defensive player tonight. It just seems like he can guard so many positions out there. He was switched on to Terry Rozier, Mr. Bucket. Well, Terry Rozier's got some handles. He can create his own shot. He stayed with them. He was in the proper stance. He didn't get lost and start falling over all over himself. No, Rozier got a little bit of a step. Keegan recovered and had an amazing contest. He uses his length. He uses his intelligence. He uses his strength to be able to defend multiple positions. And now I'm watching this young player who's literally still in the early stages of his second year in the NBA, take a monster leap defensively and showing what he can do offensively. I think he looks like he's got all-star potential.
Yes. And
Are you tapping the brakes on that?
You ready for no?
Oh, okay.
Oh no, I'm pushing the gas on that. And here we go. You know how I like to be very rational with my takes. I like to.
Can I just say, Morgan be a little irrational with Deuce right now?
No.
I'm not used to this.
No.
I'm used to you hitting me down.
I'm so confident that this is not irrational.
Oh, boy.
And I will tell you right now, I am a fence sitter, and I enjoy sitting on the fence.
Hurt sometimes?
Nope, it feels great on my ass, and I just watch and I sit and I go, okay, that looks good. I analyze. I'm very rational with my takes, and I will tell you this right now. And I feel like this is being rational. And so many people, especially around the league and especially people that don't watch the Sacramento Kings enough, are definitely not going to agree. But I think Keegan Murray could be on the right track to go in that direction of, I'm not going to full on do the comp of one player. No, I'm not going to do comp of one player, but I'm more saying demeanor and where they can become that two-way guy. And let's go even the Kawhi Leonard direction. And you go demeanor alone, right? Hold on. Personality, demeanor alone. Kawhi Leonard didn't take that leap until year 5. And Keegan Murray is not near that leap quite yet, but how can you tell me right now from year 1 to year 2 he's not getting there or he can't keep going in that direction? I know he doesn't have the shoulders and the strength. Again, year 2, people. Year 2 we are in right now. Kawhi Leonard did not take that leap until year 5. So my point is with this, why, if our eyes are showing us something with this young guy, why not believe our eyeballs and where this could actually go? And I did not do this. I did not do this with De'Aaron Fox even. I was always a De'Aaron Fox truther. I didn't know it was going to go in this direction. You could even go back to Tyrese Halliburton. I always knew that he was going to be a good player. I didn't know. I couldn't even have the take that he was going to take this leap with his playmaking ability and being able to shoot the ball so well. And also just speedy recovery for Tyrese Halliburton, hoping for that. But my point is like, I don't have these takes often. And with Keegan Murray, I feel very confident with saying that. Very confident.
I see what he does at his size.
Correct.
And the leaps he's taken. And I go, and I know what he's about. The guy likes basketball. He loves basketball. That's what he does. And he's a great teammate. He wants to get better. I dig everything about him, And I think part of it too is like, you try to hey, you don't want to get too excited, right? Because Sacramento over the years, you've gotten excited about things. You've gotten excited about lottery picks. I'm saying fans in general, like me. I mean, young Deuce was like, dude, Spencer Hawes, man, I'm telling you, he's a 7-footer. He can shoot the 3. Spencer, I bought his jersey. Well, that 10-year NBA player, but let's settle down, right?
Yeah,
we've all had our tough moments. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm with you where I see the upside in him, and the talk about him before the draft was like, what's his ceiling? He just looks like he's a solid player. That guy was he was a late developer, and he just got better and better. So yeah, I'm
confident in his ability of where he's going to take his game. And here's one more reason or take or angle, Deuce, I really just want to hit on as we're talking about Keegan Murray. You look at, and I know we'll talk more about Pascal Siakam and everything that was happening in the news today of what we heard about him. But I go, okay, well, if you trust the future, if you have the patience to trust the future with Keegan Murray taking another leap or being that third guy and still trying to obviously make tweaks and make this team better, if you feel like that is the direction you need to go with him, you do not ever put him in trade conversations.
And they're not. And that's the reality. Go ahead with number 2, because I have something after this.
And I forget number 2, so go.
No, we have some mutual friends that work in the league, not for like a team. They work in the NBA. And we text about basketball a lot, and they were like, oh man, if you have a chance for Siakam, you trade Keegan. Like, what are you even saying? And I'm like, guys, you got to watch Sacramento more. No.
Thank you.
People, and I know there's even Kings fans that are like, hey, man, if you want to take that jump, like, who cares? Go get another all-star. Go trade Keegan for that other all-star. I'm like, I am not trading this guy because he has everything that you've been searching for. Sacramento, for years, has been searching for like a small forward, a wing player who could do it on both ends. It's tough to go over the list of Kings small forwards over the years. And I look at Keegan, actually, it's like positionless. Like, I mean, he plays some shooting
Even
guard,
better.
small forward, power forward. But my point is a wing player. It's Ron Artest, Peja, Rudy Gay, and Harrison Barnes a couple of years ago. It's not a deep list.
Mm-hmm.
Don't drop Andres Nocioni in the chat. It's not the deepest of lists, right? So why would you look to get away? And I get it too. It's this thirst to like take a jump and man, maybe you can move him and get really. No. Patient.
I'm with
Be
you.
patient because I really think the Kings have something special. And you know what's going to be great? If we're wrong, people are going to clip this and make fun of us forever.
And we will
go,
talk about how we were
right,
wrong.
You're right. We're right.
I'll be
wrong.
like, okay, maybe, wait, so maybe I don't understand basketball development and I would take a step back. Absolutely. And again, this is coming from someone who never has any take that is even spicy hot or even temperature hot of any type of hotness. And I don't even think this is a hot take. I just think it's a very confident take for me.